Little Ryan had been counting the days all summer. His backpack was packed, his pencils sharpened, and today was finally the first day of school. But what he didn't know was that the morning would bring a shock that almost ruined everything. Ryan woke up early, too excited to even eat breakfast. His dad dropped him and his little sister Viola off at the school gates. Click, click, snap. His dad took pictures while Ryan hugged him tight and waved goodbye. Smiling, Ryan ran toward the entrance. Then it happened. A teacher stopped him and said, Ryan, please join that line. Ryan turned his head and froze. The line was full of unfamiliar faces, not a single friend he knew. Still, he did what he was told and stood quietly. Then the teacher said, Now everyone, go to the board and find your name. That's how you know your class and teacher. Ryan's hands trembled as he scanned the paper. His eyes darted across the list, and then his heart dropped. His best friend's name, the one person he had been waiting to see all summer, wasn't there. Ryan checked again and again. No, his best friend was on a completely different list, a different class. The shock was too much. His chest felt heavy, and before he could stop himself, tears rolled down his cheeks. Other kids stared. The classroom felt strange. The day stretched on painfully. Ryan tried to talk to his new classmates, but it wasn't the same. Not without his best friend. But then came recess. Ryan stepped outside, still fighting back the sadness, and then he heard it. A familiar voice shouting his name across the playground. It was him, his best friend, running, smiling, arms wide open. In that moment, Ryan realized something big. Sometimes we don't get what we want. Sometimes things change. But that doesn't mean we can't find joy. Because even if they weren't in the same class, his best friend was still there, and recess was still their time together. As the bell rang and Ryan walked back inside, he whispered to himself, Tomorrow I'm going to try harder with the new kids. But what Ryan didn't know was that the next day would bring a not so pleasant surprise. Stay tuned for the next episode. On Ryan's second day back at school, he promised himself he would try to smile, try to talk to new kids, try to get used to not having his best friend in his class. But that day, something happened on the playground that broke him even more. At recess, Ryan walked slowly across the playground. He didn't feel like joining any games. He just wanted to be alone, to think. Then out of nowhere, he heard laughter. Loud, sharp laughter. A group of boys he didn't know were pointing straight at him. Those boys laughed and pointed at him. They called him names that hurt more than anything he'd ever heard. Ryan froze. His cheeks burned hot. He had never even spoken to these boys before. He didn't know their names. Why were they being so mean to him? He wanted to shout back. He wanted to say something, anything. But the words got stuck in his throat. So he did the only thing he could. He lowered his head and kept walking. Each step felt heavier than the last. By the time school ended, Ryan's eyes were already red. When his mom picked him up, he couldn't hold it in anymore. The tears came rushing down, and he cried so hard it shook his little body. Ryan's mom pulled him close, wrapping him in the kind of hug that only mothers know how to give. Listen to me, Ryan, she whispered softly. You are not what they said. You are smart, you are kind, and you are loved. Nothing anyone says can take that away from you. She paused, then continued. Yes, you grew a little bigger over the summer, but that doesn't make you less. And it certainly doesn't give anyone the right to laugh at you, ever. Do you understand? Ryan nodded slowly, though tears still clung to his eyes. And here's what we'll do, his mom added firmly. If these boys ever try that again, you look them in the eye and say, stop, that's not kind. And if they keep going, then I will take it up with the school. You are not alone in this, Ryan. Not ever. Ryan sniffled, his breath finally slowing. His mom kissed to the top of his head. And if you'd like, we can also work on healthy habits together. Playing outside more, riding our bikes, cooking fun meals. But remember, your worth is not in your size. Your worth is in your heart, your mind, and the way you treat people. Her words echoed in his mind all night. And when tomorrow finally came, Ryan was ready. He walked into school with his backpack tight on his shoulders, repeating the words in his head. Stop, that's not kind. All through class, he waited. He knew sooner or later he would see those boys again. When the bell rang for recess, Ryan's heart started racing. And there they were, the same boys from yesterday, standing in their usual spots. Ryan took a deep breath, bracing himself. This time, he was ready. He walked past them, shoulders stiff. The boys looked at him, but nothing happened. No pointing, no laughing, no mean words. They just stared for a second and then turned away. Ryan blinked in surprise. Why didn't they say anything? Had someone talked to them? Did the teacher scold them? Or did they realize they had gone too far? Ryan didn't know the answer, but as he walked across the playground without a single insult thrown his way, he felt something he hadn't felt in days. Relief. He realized that sometimes fear builds up in your mind and feels bigger than it really is. But when you face it, even if you don't have to say a word, it can lose its power. Still, Ryan knew school had only just begun, and deep down he wondered, will this pace last, or was something else waiting around the corner? See you next time on The Adventures of Little Ryan. And remember, The Adventures of Little Ryan book series is now selling on Amazon. Click the link in the description below or in the bio of this page to purchase. Thank you.